There are many names to call this country right here. Some people call it America, the United States, the United States of America, or just Murica. Many patriotic Americans say that the USA is the best country in the world. While it is the richest country in the world and is well developed, but many people all over the world cannot really say that it is the best. Before we cover everything wrong that's with the USA, let's mention some good things about the USA. First off, if you're financially stable, the United States is a nice place to live in. Most cities are safe and clean. The United States isn't really the best of the best place to live in. I would argue that it is more top 20 or top 25 on the list for best places to live in, but that's just my opinion. However, it is also nowhere near the worst place to live in. A lot of young Americans have a hard time trying to live in the United States. And if you want proof that there is a cost of living crisis there, take a look at this graph right here. This graph represents the average price of houses sold over time in the USA. In 2022, the average home price in the United States is almost $350,000. Here is more data on how much money you need to make a year in order to live in each state. Housing prices in the US are not really going to get any better. Even apartments and RVs are a lot more expensive than they used to be. Considering the fact that California and New York have a homelessness problem. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, what does housing prices have to do with a cost of living crisis? Well, I'm talking about the fact that younger generations such as millennials have to work 60 to 80-hour work weeks. Some of them even work 2 to 3 jobs, and they have to pay 10 times the amount for a house than what their parents had to pay. Say what you want about America's healthcare and education system, but we all have to admit that it is flawed. Like, there is a lot that is wrong with it. Public education in America has not only gotten more expensive, but also deteriorated in quality. Considering that public schools are now teaching LGBTQ in America. Now, you're probably gonna think to yourself, that isn't such a bad thing, right? Well, I guess it's not insufferably bad, but what I'm trying to say is that this is just more useless information that is now into the curriculum. You have most likely seen a lot of memes on the internet on how Americans are bad at geography.
Can you name a country on this map?
Nobody does. Africa?
Nope.
Russia?
Nope, that's China.
You didn't have to cut me off. Like we were nothing.
Liberal colleges in the United States are nothing but indoctrination camps. I'm not trying to say that college/university is a bad thing, but I don't think it's worth going tens of thousands of dollars in debt just to get some piece of paper that isn't entirely useless, but not really necessary. Now, let's talk about the healthcare in America. I wouldn't say their healthcare is bad, but it is just unnecessarily expensive. I mean, I kind of find it wrong that people are almost spending $13,000 on healthcare. Also, ambulance transport costs can also range from $400 to $1,500. It's gotten so bad to the point where one person literally had to pay a $3 million medical bill. Politics all over the world is a massive clown show, but the USA takes it to a whole nother level. It seems to me that both sides of the political spectrum are equally insufferable. Whether it's the liberals versus the conservatives, the left wing versus the right wing, the Democrats versus the Republicans, the list just goes on. Now, I'm not trying to shame you for your political beliefs, but if you are very radical and extreme about it, then it's a problem. If you want an example, the far left and the alt-right are just both equally insufferable to me. What sucks about the American political system is that there are only two parties to vote for. While I do accept that both parties have their good and bad presidents, but my problem with these parties is that they would rather bicker at each other for who's to blame for the problem than actually try to solve the problem themselves. No matter what your political beliefs are, there is hypocrisy all over the spectrum. From left-wing hypocrisy to right-wing hypocrisy to liberal hypocrisy to conservative hypocrisy and so on. Both the Democrats and the Republicans have had their fair share of political scandals. Another thing that is wrong with the US is their hypocrisy. If you search the term American hypocrisy, then a lot of results will show up. What's hypocritical is that they condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine while forgetting the fact that the US has invaded many other countries as well. They also like to lecture China and North Korea on human rights violations, even though they have also violated human rights in the past. This is the same country that condemns Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but is somehow okay with Israel invading Palestine and taking their land illegally. I could cover the entire hypocrisy of the United States, but I won't, because that would just take too long for this kind of video. Although that's all I have for you guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you press like, subscribe with post notifications on, and leave a positive comment. Anyways, see you guys in the next video.